We call the St. James Parish School Board regular board meeting to order. Number one, open a meeting, prayer, Angela Washington, and pledge, Marty Poche.
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
C, roll call, Superintendent Kimball.
Mr. Poche,
here.
Ms. Quintella,
Here.
Ms. Washington,
Here.
Ms. Byer,
Here.
Mr. Attilia,
Here.
Mr. Grove, President Flores.
Here. D, discussion and approval of meeting minutes from June 24, 2025. Can I get a motion? Motion by Suba, a second by Marty Poche. All in favor?
Aye.
2, committee meeting reports. A, executive committee report of July 7, 2025, Vice President Marty Poche.
St. James Parish School Board Executive Committee meeting convened Monday, July 7th at 4 p.m. Members present were Angela Washington and Marty Poche, and Nicole Florent absent. The purpose of the meeting was to review agenda and set the agenda for the July 8th, 2025 school board meeting. A motion by Angela Washington, seconded by Marty Poche, and unanimously carried to approve the agenda for July 8th, 2025 school board meeting. Adjournment 4:40 p.m.
Thank you. B, Finance Committee Report of July 8, 2025. Chairperson Subaya.
The St. James Parish Finance Committee met today, Tuesday, July 8th, here in the school board meeting room at 4:30 p.m. Members present were Sue Byer and Marty Poche. Members absent was Raymond Grove. The purpose of the meeting was discussion and approval of fiscal year 2026 original budgets for general funds, special revenue funds, and capital project funds. And 3, discussion and approval of contracts and agreements, Kelly Cook. The recommendations: 1, motion by Marty Poche, seconded by Sue Byer, and unanimously carried to approve fiscal year 2026 original budget for general funds, special revenue funds, and capital project funds. It was motion by Marty Poche, seconded by Sue Byer, and unanimously carried to approve contracts and agreements. It was motion by Marty Poche and seconded by Sue Byer to adjourn the meeting at 5:01 p.m.
Can I get a motion to accept the minutes? Motion by Tim Tillier, second by Angela Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
C, Building Committee Report of July 8, 2025. Chairperson Tim Tillier.
St. James Parish School Board Building Committee met today, Tuesday, July 8th, and convened at 5:05. Members present, Marty Poche and myself. Members absent was Raymond Grove. The purpose was to have discussion and approve to rescind approval to hire Providence Engineering and move forward with the Letcher High School Drainage Project Phase 2. Motion was made by Marty, seconded by Tim, and unanimously carried to approve the rescind approval to hire Providence Engineering and move forward with the Letcher High School Drainage Project. We a motion to adjourn by Marty, second by myself, and the meeting adjourned at 5:11.
Thank you. I need a motion to accept the minutes. Motion by Subaya, second by Diana Quintillo. All in favor?
Aye.
3, Business Finance Instruction. A, discussion and approval of a resolution to amend sales and use tax ordinances and reinstate vendors' compensation. Michelle Nogues.
Good afternoon, board members and superintendent. One of the unintended consequences of the tax reform session, which was the third extraordinary session in November 24, was the elimination of the vendors' compensation on local sales and use tax returns for dealers who file their returns on time. So Senate Bill 112, which became Act 327 of the 2025 regular session, corrects this and allows jurisdictions once again to allow dealers to receive the compensation for preparation of their sales and use tax returns. And it authorizes a deduction as compensation for certain dealers and remote sellers that collect and remit sales and use taxes. So this will become effective with filing period starting July 1st, 2025, which means the collection period will be August of 2025. And so the resolution that is before you will be to reinstate the vendor's compensation at its previous rate of 1.5%, but we are placing a cap on that vendor's compensation rate of $750, which is what the state of Louisiana is doing as well. And I'll entertain any questions if there are any.
Moved by Timothy Tillier, second by Angela Washington. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
Thank you.
B, discussion and approval of MACE program. This item aligns with priority 2 of the board's strategic action plan. Melissa Obey.
Good afternoon, Superintendent Kimball and board members. You all should have received a copy of the program overview for parents and students assigned to MACE. So I stand before you all today seeking approval for updated changes and improvements to our district's alternative education program known as MACE, Magnolia Academic Center of Excellence. Provisions were initiated upon a visit to Apple Digital in Ascension Parish in collaboration with their administrative team. Our alternative education program will continue to address the needs of all students with improvements and a few changes. These include our substance abuse, social emotional learning, trauma, and specific behavior concerns. Changes noted in the intake packet that you all received includes all of these changes that parents and students will be informed of during an intake process. These include the following: potential opportunity for exit, 50% of their assigned time, with the exception of possession of guns or weapons. An early exit will not be automatic. It can be granted only when the student has met all guidelines, and that includes attendance, remained on pace 100% of the time, 100% assigned work completed, passed 100% of their coursework, and completed required social emotional counseling sessions, and for those for substance abuse, the drug and alcohol treatment programs. That's for, again, our substance abuse students only. No referrals. And also our substance abuse students must pass an exit drug screener within 1 week of their early exit. They would return back on a probationary status, and that would be a signed contract with the student and the parent. They cannot participate in any activities once they return as far as sports or clubs, but they can definitely participate in graduation, and we do know that that was a big flaw for a lot of our students, that they would miss their graduation. For our students returning from last school year, we do have a total of 24 students returning. These expulsions were previously counted as semesters. They would be placed like 1 semester, 2 semesters, 4 semesters. Now they will be assigned numbered days. The numbered days will actually total a semester. And again, those parents will be made aware of the new intake process that we're doing. They'll be informed of all the changes and improvements. Do y'all have any questions?
I commend you and your staff for the transparency with this. I think it's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. For the parents to understand.
Correct.
You said if they get an early exit and return to school, they can't do any sports or any extracurriculars.
As far as like some of them may have previously been on the football team. When they return, most of the practices will have taken place As far as the different clubs, and most of like the requirements will have been met by those students who are already at their home-based school. And I'll be honest with you, the kids are really the only we get is like graduation.
Yeah.
So I
It's
know the
biggest
parents will be
component.
very appreciative.
Ms. Olger, can you explain the probationary period?
Sure.
To the board, and then explain to them the process of how long they'll be back on probation on their home-based campus, and what would bring them back. Like, we don't want this to happen, but
Okay.
what
In
incidents
case something would.
would bring them back to Mace?
All right, our exit probationary period, the students who met the requirements to exit the MACE program early will return to their home-based school under probation until the expulsion exit date. During this probationary period, the student's behavior will be closely monitored. Students and parents will be required, as I said before, to sign that probationary contract saying that they understand. Non-compliance with probation terms will result in placement back to MACE, immediate placement back to MACE, for further intervention and support with no suspension hearing and no expulsion hearing prior to the return. The parents and our guardians will be notified verbally and in writing upon their students' required return to MACE. And the probationary contract will include the following. Any violation of level 3 or 4 infractions, the student is immediately returned to MACE to complete the remainder of his or her expulsion. 2 violations of any combinations of our level 2 infractions, the student is immediately returned to MACE to complete the remainder of his or her expulsion as well. This does not include tardy and or dress code violations. Students will not be able to participate, like I said earlier, in any of the activities, including but not limited to athletic games and practices and extracurricular groups. The only exception would be the graduating seniors, that they will participate in graduation ceremony. Also noted, students immediately return to MACE to complete the remainder of their expulsion are not entitled to another suspension hearing or expulsion hearing, but we actually, I know that's noted there, but we're supposed to get back on that, Mr. Jarvis.
And what I want to just make sure everybody understands, Mace is more than just a disciplinary place that you go. It's a place where you get intervention, you get counseling, so we can change behavior, so kids are successful when they return to the home-based center. I think that's a misconception out there, that we send kids over there because they misbehave. Well, we send kids there so they can get the interventions that they need,
Right.
so when they come back, they can be successful back on their home-based campus. And so I think this meets the need of that. I think we have students that this will help. And at the end of the day, I think this will help students graduate on time with their peers and hopefully be successful in their life journey.
It gives them something to work towards.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You want to make
Oh,
to approve the program.
before I just had one more
Yeah,
comment.
go ahead.
And I don't know if that's
No,
just
you
the
have questions.
counselor in me or the, if we let them return early and they're not allowed to do anything, like what actually keeps them engaged? Like if they can't be in clubs and do the sports and like what are they actually doing? Like to
Go
not
back with their
fall
friends.
back into doing what, like what, I don't know, maybe that's just my counselor.
They'll get that
Thing
social engagement with their peers, because when they're removed from their school, just think, a lot of the kids, they're with their friends at school, they're interacting with their friends. And not all of our students are football players or cheerleaders.
No.
And to be honest with you, not too many of them, if you ask them about 4-H, some of them don't even know what 4-H is. So I'm just keeping it real. But the main thing, the only thing we would hear from students is, can I please march? Can I please participate in graduation? From our parents, their main concern was graduation. And we're also adding, we wouldn't just throw them back to their schools. We actually have them where they're going to identify an adult on that home-based campus that they can actually relate to. And the newly hired counselor for MACE, that person would actually interact with that student up until a month, just to monitor their transition back to their home-based school.
I think it sounds like a great plan.
Okay, I need a motion to, Diana Cantor, second by Angela Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. C, discussion and approval of open arms contract. This item aligns with priority 2 of the board's strategic action plan. Melissa O'Barron.
I'm just asking again for approval for us to continue our substance abuse program through Open Arms Behavior Services. I'm gonna say that the program toward the end of we kind of started midway of last school year. It was very successful. Even the staff, we learned a lot from the licensed substance abuse counselor as far as what to look for, different signs. And I know you all knew I had an incident with fentanyl, didn't know what it was. But it was just very intriguing for us to learn, as well as the students to learn the danger of vaping and different types of drugs, the different way it comes in different forms, and just what it does to their entire body. And also like one thing about the program, we have a licensed substance abuse counselor that will work with both groups and individual students. That person, we start off our week on a Monday with the licensed substance abuse counselor. And at the end of the week on that Friday, we have a mental health provider that comes in. Because what we did realize that a lot of our substance abuse students, there were underlying issues why they were using substance abuse. So that mental health provider would actually work with those students on that Friday, and she would do group and individual counseling as well. Again, we would have sessions twice a week, and we selected Mondays and Fridays. And we're grateful for our sponsorship through United Healthcare, who was actually supposed to attend the meeting today, but they're in the middle of an audit. So any questions regarding our substance abuse program that we would like to continue?
No.
Any motion?
I
Motion
make
by
a motion to
Subai,
accept.
second by Marty Poche. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
D, discussion and approval of dual enrollment MOUs. This item aligns with priority 1 of the board's strategic action plan and detail.
All right, good evening. This is our annual dual enrollment MOUs. As you can see, we have several of them because we partner with Nicholls State University, RPCC, LSU, and then, of course, we added Next Level. Next Level is where we're getting our advanced IBC for medical assistance in phlebotomy. So we are able to cover that with SCA, which is school course allocation money. So we lumped it in with our normal dual enrollment. That typically is our Jumpstart kids, but it is a continuing, it is advanced credentials beyond the high school diploma. So all 3 MOUs, Nicholls, RPCC, and LSU, we do a combination. That's our Gen Ed matrix, our sciences, math. The majority of them are our face-to-face courses where our teachers teach them, but the universities credential and give the credit, but it's our teachers teaching with that standard $50 credit hour for those courses. We also offer some online. Online costs are more. It's not a standard MOU like the $50 per credit hour. Those range. And the average for an online course for kids that we pay, and that's reduced rates, is $600 to $650 is the average for those online courses. Online courses are a lot more than our standard MOU with the teachers that teach. And then the third layer, we do have, it's more on the technical side, but we do have some students that go to RPCC for like the PTech, and they actually sit in the classes on the reserve campus. So it's a couple layers there, depending on the partners, but you have all of the contracts. Majority of the money we use is the supplemental course allocation money. We're also gonna throw in a little bit CDF where we may go over. This is always dependent on our student enrollment criteria, kids who enroll. So these numbers, the number of kids who take the dual enrollment, you know, that fluctuates every year. Spring is usually a little bigger than fall, but you know, our averages are, I mean, it's been holding pretty steady throughout the last couple of years.
Motion by Tim DeTillier, second by Subaya. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Enid. E, discussion and approval to engage Calder, Slavin and Company LLC to perform the fiscal year 2025 audit. This item aligns with priority 3 of the board's strategic action plan. Ashley Monk.
Good afternoon. As we do every year at this time, we come before you to engage our auditors, Coder, Slavin and Company. We are required by the state law and legislative auditor to have an audit of our fiscal year each year. This is for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025. It's 3 separate engagement letters. We have the regular financial statement, which includes financial statements, internal controls, and compliance. Then we have the state agreed upon procedures, and then we have the regular agreed upon procedures engagement. I'm bringing before you these engagement letters to go ahead and move forward with Coder Slavin to do our audit for this fiscal year that just ended, which is due December 31st, 2025. We actually expect to see a slight decrease this year due to some changes in the state agreed upon procedures that are going to be reduced from what we saw in the prior years. So this past year, last fiscal year, we paid $107,000, so we're expecting to be at a lower rate than that for this coming year.
I need a motion. Motion by Subaya, second by Marty Poche. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. F, discussion and approval of resolution authorizing the fiscal year 2025 Louisiana Legislative Auditor Compliance Questionnaire. This item aligns with priority 3 of the board's strategic action plan. Ashley Muntz.
This goes along with what we just did with the engagement. We're also required by the legislative auditor to have this completed compliance questionnaire. It's all of the information for our school district as well as us saying our compliance with all of the different rules and regulations and things throughout the year for all of our financial purposes.
Motion by Marty Poche, seconded by Diana Cantillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Ashley.
Thank you.
G, discussion and approval of the following certificates of payment. This item aligns with priority 3 of the board's strategic action plan. Ashley Muntz.
I have one certificate of payment tonight that is for Guy Hopkins Construction for the Letcher High School gym renovations. It's in the amount of $158,247.91, and this finishes out our fiscal year 25 construction payments. This was through the June 30th payment, so we're asking for approval for this payout tonight.
Okay. Motion by Tim Detillier, seconded by Subaya. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
Thank you.
H, discussion and approval of CEA with St. James Parish School Board and LSU Ag Center 4-H. This item aligns with priority 5 of the board's strategic action plan. Kelly Cook.
Good evening, everyone. We come before you every year. As you know, 4-H is a very important part of our school system. And so we have this MOU that we come bring to you every year. The cost has not increased, and I think we all agree it's a great program for the district.
Well, I just came if y'all have any questions. I'm sorry that our 4-H agents couldn't be here tonight. They are actually in Tennessee with our 4-H's right now. They're on our junior leader trip for the week. They were at 4-H University last week. They took over 30 of our St. James kids for the week on LSU campus to participate in contests and events. And then the week before that, they were at 4-H camp for a week. So they have had a very busy summer with our kids. I'm very proud of our 4-H agents. They put in a lot of work, a lot of extra effort, a lot of hours with the kids. So we appreciate you guys' support for our program.
Can I make a comment? Or we can get a
Motion.
first.
Tim Detillier, Marty Poche, and seconded by Tim Detillier. All in favor?
Aye.
Night.
I just want to make a comment about our 4-H youth program. I see so many of our 4-H students around our community helping outside of 4-H, not just with 4-H. And whenever I see them, especially the ones that have been in it a while, they always stop to, say hello. They always so well spoken and respected, or respective young students. And when I went to the fast food forum, they at every station there was so much learning going on, and my students were on the other side, and I just sat and marveled at the leadership skills that they already are getting at this young age.
So tell your kids to join 4-H so they can
And
come do that when they get older.
It's my kids are in college, but
Oh, well.
But I just think they were at one time, so I just think it's a great program for us and happy to support it.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you, ladies. I, discussion and approval of the following job descriptions. 1, Head Start degree teacher. 2, parent advocate. 3, Head Start Center designee. 4, Head Start certified teacher. And 5, CDA teacher aide. This item aligns with priority 4 of the board's strategic action plan. Ms. Mary Beth.
Good evening. I'm seeking your approval for our Head Start job descriptions. We've updated them to be more aligned with our curriculum and our new performance standards. We don't have any new positions. We just pulled the center designee position out and put it as its own. Right, it used to be in the teacher one, so we just kind of like made it where it's by itself, so it stands out more. We've updated the things to include more active supervision spelled out, because that's very important with our new updated performance standards.
Motion by Diana Cantillo, second by Sue Byer. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, you know I love my babies. Thank you.
I'd like to just take
Yes.
a moment. I just want to thank Ms. Mary Beth. I know, I kid around with her a lot, but the partnership, and it is a partnership with Head Start, and she is at every one of our meetings when we do any kind of professional development for our teachers, or our principals, or our district staff. She's right there with us, learning and growing just like we are. And so she don't have to do that, but I appreciate her doing that. And it kind of, it takes what they start in pre-K and we can bring it up with us, and really it's a great partnership. So I appreciate her partnership and the work that she does and with our Head Start, because it's critical that we get those young students in as early as possible and get them accustomed to getting educated and starting to get into the routines of coming to school and grasping the skills and the knowledge that they need to be successful. So thank you.
Thank you, and they show so much growth. It's amazing from when they get off the school bus at the first, and then at the end, you hate them, like, okay, now we're going to pre-K, been pre-K yet. So,
If you're having a bad day, go visit.
oh, yes.
And
They
you'll walk
feel
out
your
with a
heart.
smile.
Mhm.
You will.
Yeah.
Make a comment. Social media shows it all. The smile those babies have. And it's so into it, like the curriculum.
Yes.
They're out there, they're not being babysat.
No.
They working, they being educated. And thank you for your staff too.
And thank y'all for your support. Thank you.
For item J, Madam President, I need a motion to enter into executive session relative to State of Louisiana Board of Tax Appeal docket number L02359. This is only for discussion purposes. If there is any action items, we'll take those back in open session when we come out of the executive session, so we can entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Moved by Marty Poche, second by Tim DeTillier. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Madam President, we need a motion to come back into open session.
So moved.
Moved by Marty Poche, second by Sue Byer.
And
All in favor?
there will be no action requested at this time.
4, closing a meeting. Condolences. Joseph Long Sr., father-in-law of Deanna Long, Human Resource Administrative Assistant, and Emily Sissy Bourgeois, mother of Kathy Bland, teacher and head softball coach at Letcher High School. I gotta get a motion. Sue Byer, unanimous second. B, adjournment. Motion by Timothy, second by Diana Cantillo. All in favor?
Aye.
I guess they won't.